Boys and girls, donuts and munchkins, welcome back to another episode of Eat the Donut, where we are achieving fat loss freedom with a good old happily ever after. Today, I feel like I say this every time I have a guest on, but today is a super duper, really special guest of mine. She is probably my OG client, probably if not my first client, but my one of my first clients ever that at least has stuck with me for year over year. Which I don't even know how long it's been, but it's been probably like 6, 7, 8 years
It's
at this point.
7.
7 years.
I looked at a
Um,
story.
Back when I was in person training, and we're still training today. But Jill Furman, what the heck is going on, girl?
We're going, Kev. Yeah, it's been 7 years now. It was April 2018 when I first met you.
Yeah,
And I
because
guess we didn't do personal training right away, but it's been 7 years almost to the date that I
yeah.
have started lifting
Yeah,
for
because I
training.
remember you started. That was like when I was like my first year or second year as a trainer. Um, I remember you and your sister and a friend came in, and we did the whole. Well, we got to tell the story on
Yeah.
how I was reaching out to you guys because I know like you were doing like a free trial or something at the gym
We
or
did a
something.
free trial, and it was actually exactly 7 years ago because it was April school vacation week. I'm pretty sure we were down at Disney that year. We were
Hmm.
away, and
Yeah.
we had signed up. We were going to do the eval with you, the three of
Mhm.
us, and we had to do like the FMS. You wanted us to come in. I didn't know what
Yep.
that was at the time, so I was like, well, then you kept it. We were like, we didn't really want to join the gym. Like we felt like we had to, but we did not work out, so we weren't excited about it. But we were like committed to try it. And you just kept emailing us and like you're like, we need to set up a time. And we're like, who is this Kevin guy? And like, why would he just leave us alone? And then eventually we're like, fine, we'll set up some time. But we just kept like bad mouthing you before we
Yeah.
agreed. We're like, this guy Kevin won't leave us alone. We don't want to meet him. Like, he has to
This
do this
dude's a
like
pain in the
eval
ass. He
thing. Like,
won't leave
he's
us the
such a
fuck
pain in the
alone.
yeah. And we pictured you totally different. We're like, it's gonna
Yeah.
be this like older guy who just like wants us to get us in there and like wants to do some eval on us. And like we were like, it was so funny how different you were in person compared to what we envisioned walking in.
I know.
Yeah, our first impression he was like, "Who the hell is this Kevin guy? Like, why
That's
would he
so
stop
funny.
emailing us?" Yeah,
I'm because I remember you guys told me that about I don't know, it was probably like a couple months to a year later, as obviously we were working together, but even our like friendship grew. We're like, Kev, we thought you were like not that you said this, but like we thought you were a douche. Like
we did.
and then obviously luckily, I'm a hopefully a just a goofball.
You
Um
were,
that
yeah.
hopefully made obviously a good experience and everything. But that I just love that story that you guys were like, who the fuck is this Kevin guy?
That's where personality sometimes can't come through an email because we were just like, "Who is this guy? Like, why?" So in the end, obviously it worked out, but it was like
Yes, thank
our first
goodness.
impression. We're like, "Why wouldn't he just leave us alone? We're on vacation. We don't want to meet him."
I love it.
But
That's so funny. That is so funny. That's one of my favorite stories. But anyways, Jill, thank you for so much for being on here. I really appreciate it.
welcome. Thanks for inviting me on.
Of
My first
course.
podcast ever, so this is
Let's
kind of like a big
go.
deal.
Let's
Lots
go.
of crazy things happening. Yeah.
Well, I knew I wanted you on just because you're my longest client I've had. Like, again, it's so funny even saying client because we're obviously very good friends at this point. Like we talk all the time, we hang out when I'm home and all that stuff. But I just know like you've had great physical and sort of let's call it a mental transformation just in like how freaking strong you are now and just for the people listening like Jill just set up two PRs in the last 2 days. She hit a 225 deadlift yesterday, and then what was the bench press you mentioned today?
120 pounds for 3 reps.
For 3 reps. So like she's gotten pretty darn strong, like coming from well, we'll kind of get into your what things looked like before the gym and all that stuff, but coming from really like this beginner stage to just being a kind of like a veteran in the gym now, like being one of the strongest, not even females, but people I know in the gym.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're badass. You're badass. But anyways, Jill, give us a little bit of a background story. What was life like before, I guess, your fitness transformation?
I guess I'd say so. I had exercised before, but it was more like just running. I ran in college a lot. So I was a runner. Well, I guess I did run for a while, but I don't like running that much. So, but
Mhm.
anytime I would have thought of exercise, it was just always cardio. Like that's just
Yeah.
what no one, like women didn't strength train back, like when I was growing up, it was just cardio. So like
Mhm.
exercise consisted of cardio, not strength training, and then even on the nutrition side, like I didn't know the importance of like protein. Like I just basically like don't eat carbs. Like it was
Mhm.
basically just like run, do elliptical. If you go to the gym, do elliptical for a half hour, and that's about it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then So strength training was not something I'd ever done, um, and didn't really know I wanted to do it. I actually remember like we joined the gym after our brother had lung transplant, double lung transplant. So like that's kind of how I ended up going to the gym and meeting you. But I had already created a vision board that year, and I had like I'm a
Mhm.
big believer in vision boards. And one
Yeah.
of the pictures was this woman doing like a sled push, and I was like, I've never seen one of those in person. I've never pushed
What the
one of
hell is
those. I
that?
was like, I just want to do that. Like I just knew I wanted to do that. But I was like, I don't know how that's gonna happen. But it was interesting to me because that's kind of like where my belief in like a vision board kind of came from because I had cut that out and made one, like a whole bunch of different stuff in there. But that was like one of the pictures. And then like 6 months later, I was like, oh, like now I just like I do that. Like I push sleds. Like
Yeah.
that's part of my every week now. So it's
Yeah.
just an interesting thing, but I didn't know anything about strength training. And I remember wanting to be able to do it. And I remember walking into the gym the first time to meet you and like people were like lifting. I was just so overwhelmed. And the transformation from going from that to like now I feel like I went away for last weekend. We did a workout at the hotel gym and like being able to
Mhm.
go into a gym and feeling like confident that I know like how to use the equipment or
Sure.
I don't feel like totally out of place is just kind of awesome to be honest.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Did,
Yeah.
very true. And there's a lot of great points you made there. It's funny how the like the beginning of what you're talking about as far as what you thought fitness was and what you thought like health was. It's just funny, and this is where I personally really feel for people where it's like you know what you know and you don't know what you don't know, right? You think health is all right, carbs are bad, all right, I got to do cardio, and we even like stereotype it or genderize it as like, females should be doing cardio. And it's just like the information we're marketed, right? And there's so
So
much friggin' information out there that this is where I get people are confused. But it's just so funny that the things we think about as far as, all right, this is what I have to do, these are the changes I have to make, and the changes are actually not really the ideal changes, right? Like we want you strength training, we want you eating carbs and all these things. So that's where I always just feel for people. And then I actually love, because I know we've talked about this a bit, just doing our own vision boards and whatnot. But that idea of manifestation, I think, is actually pretty valuable. And one thing you said is it's almost like helped you in a way change the way you identify yourself, where it's like, you went away and went to the gym, you're like, I'm just someone who does this, where, maybe 7 years ago, you're like, I don't know what the heck this thing is, or this weight is, or how to use this thing. But now it's just something throughout your transformation. You walk in there with confidence, knowing like what you need to do, and probably even telling like your friends and family, like, hey, if you're working out with me, we'll do this, and helping them out in some sort of way.
yeah, it's great. It's just complete difference. Like I'm amazed sometimes in the past 7 years, like how I went from like being afraid to go to the gym to like completely out of place to being like it's like one of my favorite things to do now. Like I can't imagine not strength training and not going to
Sure.
the gym regularly. It's just like something I absolutely love now.
I love that. I love that. Was there anything specifically that motivated you to change with like your health and fitness? Was there like a moment or a combination of moments or something that sort of like triggered it?
Not so much. I mean, I always wanted to be like in shape and stuff, so
Sure.
it wasn't like, oh, like this the moment. But I think because my brother had the surgery stuff and was going in to meet you and stuff, for like
Yeah.
this is a good opportunity to like to try this out. And then having my sister and our friend Marcy really wanted to go as well. And so
Hmm.
having a group of three start together, it was just something we could start off as something to do together.
Hmm.
And liked the idea of getting, trying to get back in shape. And I never tried strength training. So that was kind of like the big turning moment. And I had a feeling I was going to like it, but I just didn't
Hmm.
know how to do it. So and it worked out because I love it. Like I really enjoy strength training, and I think it's just not only is it great physically, but like it does change your life mentally too. Like the confidence that
100%.
comes from it and everything like has been amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Excuse me. Um, but I know it is crazy. Like strength training can do such a like make such a difference as in like your life, right? Like it can make such a difference not only with your health, but just has how you show up as a person, as like whether it's a friend, a daughter, a spouse, a partner, employer, like however it looks, right? Like it just can make all these changes. It's almost like the side effect of it is like, oh wow, like I can do all these things. But I just love keep hearing you just talk about how like this is just what you do now. Like you can't see your life probably without it at this point.
Okay. Like it's literally something I hope I do to like I hope like that, till I'm basically till the day I die when I'm hopefully very old, still strength training. Like I hope it's something that like I can still do. I'm still doing squats, and even if the weights are
Yeah.
obviously less, that it's something that's still a part of
Yeah,
my life, like a regular part of my life.
for sure. Now, what did your fitness routine look like when you first started compared to like where you're at now?
When I first started, I started off 2 days, I think it was a week, doing group
Okay.
classes. So, with the coach, which one of you, which was obviously you were one of them.
Yeah.
And so, but like, so basically classes at first, and then there was a program provided, and I really just didn't know how to do anything. I remember like I didn't know how to squat, and like you always had to be
Mm,
like put your knees out. Like I was just doing everything. I didn't know how to do anything. Like I didn't know how to row. There was no, I didn't know any of the forms. So I would say like the classes were great for a long
mm,
time. For years I did them and that it was great to learn how to lift correctly and with proper form and be
mhm,
encouraged with the coach. And it was also a great way to meet a lot of friends. So I love the gym also for the social aspect of it. A lot of the people I met right from the beginning when I started at the gym, I'm still friends with. So
mhm,
it's been like created by what I think is like lifelong friendships. But I also learned how to lift correctly. And then the classes were great. So like I would recommend anybody who is like completely new to it, if they're not going to just do like a personal trainer, that they should do classes somewhere, like group
yeah.
fitness with strength training focus, just for the camaraderie and also learning how to lift correctly. But I think as you progress, like you start to not like necessarily outgrow it, but there were some classes I still really liked, but I feel like as I could lift heavier, I needed more time to like recover between sets and like the pace. I wanted to go slower
Hmm.
during a session. So now I basically just do all um, open gym or train at home, a mix of both. Train with you obviously once a week,
Yeah.
and um, basically go at my own pace but lift heavier. And I have more confidence in how to do the lift, so it's not like I need instruction for every lift all the time.
Right.
So I feel like it progresses over time to like classes are great to now more an open gym setting, but I still prefer to go to a physical gym most of the
Yeah.
time, also for the friendships and the people and the
Yeah, for
atmosphere.
sure. For sure. I think relationships and building sort of like your own little personal village or like your own little community there, it's just so helpful. And especially at the gym, like everyone's there for a reason, right? It's to improve their health, to improve their well-being, to improve their quality of life. Like they might have specific goals behind it as far as someone's got back pain, someone's just trying to develop strength to make their quality of life better, someone might be trying to lose weight, like, but we're all trying to be better in our life and having that community and those people surrounded by you who are all trying to be better and improve. It's just also very motivating, right? It's just very motivating to have these people around you. We're all striving to be better.
And it just makes it so like you grow your community of friends, but it's kind of nice having that group where like they care about their fitness too. Like
Hmm.
they're the person that will be like, let's go to the gym together, let's go for a walk together. So it's kind of nice to have that.
Hmm.
But
I
I
mean,
really
it's, I think one of the truest statements is like you are gonna be the people you surround yourself around. So it's like you hang around with people who love to drink and party, you're probably gonna be that. If you like to hang around with people who like to take care of their health in their gym, like you're gonna be part of that too. Um, so I think that's yet again another great benefit to just working out and whatnot. Um, but yeah, because you're training now 4 or 5 times a week.
train usually I usually do four. I'd like to
Okay.
get to five. Usually four with I
Yeah.
say I work out 5 days, but one of them is usually like a walk. So like 4 to 5 days. The
Hmm.
program is 4 days. It's basically 3 days of strength, 1 day of conditioning, um, and then eventually I like to add the fifth day. So I had been doing more five because I was doing a class with it. I don't do that class anymore. But it was focused more on like kettlebells, but like so getting back to five would be my goal, but
Yeah.
basically always 4 to 5 with like three is like the minimum for a week. Like
Yeah.
if I can't do much for whatever reason, it would be at least go and work out 3 days.
Yeah, don't you love how I asked that in a sense like I didn't know because I write your program?
That's like very rude.
That was a terrible approach
But
on
I
my
used to
end.
do a class though. So
You're
I
like,
did work
Kev,
out five, but now
you.
it's like four. And I was like, well, I keep meaning to ask you, like, we
I'm
should
like,
probably
you
do
should be
it
doing
today,
five,
but
right?
like we should be
I'm
doing
like, we're
five.
doing five right
Like,
now. But
why
no,
is it four?
it's I know like for the standpoint, like we do 3 strength training, at least one cardio. I know typically sometimes you throw in like whether it's like a cardio class, sometimes I know the gym will have that once in a while, or it's like going on a long walk or something of that aspect. Um, So that's great, right? Like going from starting off 2 days a week and then into now 7 years later, 4 or 5 days a week. And I'd say four is probably your bare minimum. It's like, yeah, I understand like the week happens where we get at least all three of our strength in. But I'd say, at least 80% of the year you're getting four
Yeah.
4 training sessions in, which is awesome. What is your favorite lift?
It's funny we were talking about this the other day. I think I'm partial. Well, it's probably tied. It's probably tied between bench press and deadlift. Squat's
Hmm.
definitely my least favorite, but I feel like that's just because like my knee, I have bad knee, so like I feel like I've
You're
never
missing
liked squat.
ACLs.
Yeah, missing an ACL. So like I feel like that's like not my favorite lift. So
Hmm.
squats are I feel like are necessary because you have to be able to do squats and it's good, but I don't love squats at all. But bench press I love, and then deadlift. I didn't always love deadlift, but I'm starting to really like the deadlift. So
Yeah.
deadlift and bench are probably my favorites.
It's funny how it's like the two ones you're good at too. Because I'm the same way. I'm
Yeah,
like,
the ones I'm good at, I like.
deadlift's my
The other one
favorite
I don't
because
like
I'm good
that much.
at
Yeah.
it.
Although the
But
squat's getting better, I will say like
mhm.
like I was kind of afraid to do it, but I've been doing a lot of physical therapy for my knee and it's definitely
Mhm.
working because I can lift heavier over everything's I can lift heavier now.
Mhm.
And the squat's improving. I just feel like it's the one that's improving the slowest,
Yeah.
basically. Um, I feel like my knee gets most irritated by that, but then also I just kind of I think part of it's just I get afraid to lift too heavy on that, but I probably could do heavier. So it's getting heavier. So that has also improved, especially over the last like 6 months.
Yeah, and like the thing with the squat, like I don't know if you guys caught that or not, but like Jill's missing an ACL. Like we didn't know about it. It happened like what, 20 years ago,
Yeah,
25
in
years
college,
ago.
I remember it happening, but I didn't know it was ruptured. I just thought I
Yeah.
sprained my knee or something. And
Yeah.
then I never got it checked because in college, and I was like, health services is so far away. Like, I'll be
Yeah.
fine. And if it doesn't get better, I'll go see a doctor. But then, like, I didn't know ACLs like feel better. Like, they do, they don't heal, but your knee, like, the swelling goes down and you can
Yeah.
walk on. I was like, oh, it's fine now. And then, like, I realized as I started to like strength train and like do other things, I'm like, oh, it's not fine. It's like,
Yeah.
there's definitely something wrong with my leg. And
Right,
then,
right.
yeah,
Well, it is fascinating. Like some ACL injuries where it obviously you tweak it and you're like, well, what happened? And then a couple of days later, you're like, oh, it's like feels okay, so I think I'm fine. And then you just kind of go about living again. You're like, oh, like it's here and there, but nothing like feels like it's taken over until eventually it maybe catches up on you, or maybe we're doing strength training where it might irritate it a little bit more. But like what's actually impressive that I think a lot of people will like to hear is even with like you in particular being a great example of this, of like, yeah, I got a pretty serious injury that like someday I'm sure we'll need to again pay attention to and just continue to be aware of. But like right now I'm in a standpoint that like I'm really strong. Like I can still deadlift, I can still squat. Like yes, my squat might feel and look a little bit different. I'm not going to progress it that fast just because of what there's concerns here. We just have to be aware of. But right now, like you can still squat, you can still strength train. Yes, like we go to PT, every 2 weeks, I believe you go and just get it checked out and get some things done. But it works for you. So it's just like one of those things, like when you have an injury, like there's still things we can do. And there just might be certain things we have to modify or just kind of be cautious with.
yeah, I agree. And I like that with like I guess that was one of the things too, is I used to feel like when I got hurt, I was like, oh, I'm just done exercising. And now I've definitely learned to appreciate that you can like train around an injury, that your knee may hurt, but like maybe you don't do back squats, like you just do like some box squats that are lighter, or just do body weight squats, or you do more arms this day. Like doesn't mean you just like don't exercise kind of thing. You basically
Yeah.
find something you can do.
Well, this just recently happened to you this week, right? Like
Yeah, like it
you,
kind of flared up early this week. I
yeah,
don't know why, but he just gets mad sometimes.
does that.
And so I was like I can't squat on Wednesday morning, so I was like I'll just do like I was gonna do back squat. I wanted to do back squats and go heavier and like
Yeah.
PR on that too. And I was like that might have been pushing it for 3 in 1 week. So I
Yeah.
was like, so I was like I can't back squat. My knee's too messed up this week. And so
Hmm.
I basically just did some light box squats on Wednesday. Even today, I just did did box squats instead of any kind of serious squats.
Yeah.
But then it's doing better, thankfully,
Yeah.
and back to kind of where it was. But yeah, so it's you can definitely adjust, even though I didn't want to, but I did.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
no, it's great. It's
I
funny
can still
when
train.
when we were training yesterday, Jill's like, my knee's kind of irritated. Like I definitely tweaked it. It's just inflamed. I was like, all right, cool. Let's hit a PR deadlift and then.
Yeah,
I was like, fuck
I
your knee.
don't
We're gonna
know.
do
I had a feeling you're gonna want a PR because I was like, it's the last day of the program in a way. I'm like, I don't know if I can deadlift today. I was like, my knee's been so messed up, but the timing just worked out. I was like, after like the first warm ups, I was like, maybe it isn't so bad, and then it's like
Yeah.
it just got better, and I felt like it was bad Tuesday morning, and then by Thursday, it
Yeah.
was feeling better, and then
Yeah.
lifting, I think, helped it. So I was like, oh, sweet. And I was like,
Yeah.
by the time we got to like the third set, I'm like, this is going pretty well. I was like,
Yeah.
cool, good.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I'm just like, guys, I am a very fun coach, but I can be a very dumb coach and I'll make things happen even if, we gotta be cautious. But yeah, I think, obviously when we're training, it's like, let's feel it out and see what happens. Like you said, it was feeling better. So it's like, all right, we can probably test the waters. And for the most part, it's feeling fine. And it was just funny watching you go from like 205 to 215. I'm like, that weight is moving so good. Like that thing is popping up. And so I was just like, all right, let's hit the PR. Because we tried 225 like 3 years ago, maybe 3.5 years ago, and
I
it didn't
couldn't do
come
it.
up.
I couldn't pick it up at all.
And then I was like,
So
let's try it. And then it just popped back up. Like I truly think you can probably do like 230, 235, maybe even touch 240. But just from the speed, like
hmm.
I'm not gonna say it didn't look heavy, but like it went up smooth. Um, so that was awesome to
I was
see.
surprised that it was 225 because like you didn't tell me the weight and I don't try to add it up. So like I was like, I don't even want to know. I'm like, I think
Yeah.
we're getting close to that. But I was surprised that one was 225. Like I would have
Hmm.
said like 215. Like it didn't feel I thought like it didn't I mean it felt heavy, but it didn't feel it. I thought it was like a 215. So when you were
Yeah.
like 225, I was surprised.
I love how I just don't tell you the weights.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
was
just
like,
like, just
don't know.
lift it. Just
It's like
lift
where the
it.
mental part comes in. If you told me, I would be like, I can't lift this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jay,
Yeah.
we learned that early on, but I
Yeah.
love that. Anyways, Jilly. Um, so let's kind of switch to more of like nutrition because obviously, like you're a savage in the gym, you're super strong and all that stuff. What like were some big nutrition changes you made that helped you make some physical progress? Because you've lost some weight, you've lost some fat, right?
Yeah, I lost like 30 to 40 pounds and basically
Yeah.
kept it all off. It fluctuates a little bit, but I'm definitely like 30 pounds, 35 pounds lighter than when I started training. So
Hmm.
just from strength training alone, I lost weight. But I also feel like the focus on like protein to help with like building muscle, but also keeping it full has made a huge impact in my life
Hmm.
because I never paid attention to that at all. So now I'd say like not that I never, I always, not that I'm always eating healthy, but I always have like a protein source pretty much with every
Sure.
meal. Like I would almost never eat a meal that doesn't have some kind of thought of like what's the protein in this meal. So that's been like a huge change. Um, and then not really making any foods like, oh, like you can't eat carbs. Like I do eat carbs, and it's more
Hmm.
like if I want to lose weight, what I found works for me is definitely tracking the calories. Like I find
Sure.
that if I actually add them to up, I can eat whatever I want and make it work. So like I feel like that's been huge because I felt like in the past before I ever started strength training or working out, like I was like, oh, if you want to lose weight, you have to just like go on a diet. Like you can't eat anything
Yeah.
bad. You can only eat
Sure.
like salads. You can only eat like fruit. Like and so now I try to incorporate it more, not only for the health and the fiber in fruit, but also just the fact that like knowing the calorie counts of things and starting to add up my head, I'm like, this isn't that many calories. You can have a lot of fruit. So like I
Yep.
feel like the protein and the fiber I now pay attention to, and then calorie counting, especially if I've like gained a few pounds, like maybe you should calorie count for a little while, and like you can
Yeah.
know it'll work. It's always been a pretty good way for me to keep it in check, basically.
Yeah, that's cool. And calorie count, like I know from your experience, was just it helps create a lot of awareness, right? And it is. I remember like when we first started nutrition coaching, when you did my first nutrition program, you're like, oh, like this works. Like you can say like, oh, it works. Like it's just
It works.
I'm hitting this number and these numbers with my protein and my calories, and like it's working. Like it just almost, I think for a lot of people, it can in that sense really help simplify things. Like it could be one of those ideas where it's like, hey, you can honestly eat whatever the fuck you want as long as you manage your calories. Now, I wouldn't say I recommend eating whatever the fuck you want because it can make aspects harder as far as hunger and energy and mental clarity and digestion and all that stuff. So there's still like nutritional value, like nutritional foods we want to hit or eat. But like just sometimes being like, hey, like just hit these numbers. Like just track your calories, hit your numbers. I don't necessarily care where it comes from, can be like the quick fix some people need.
Yeah, and which I like about it too is it puts it in a mindset where like if friends are going out for like ice cream, you can't be like you're not like that person's like, no, I can't eat that. I'm on a diet. Like you
Yeah.
can, you just have to kind of factor it into like your overall intake and maybe
Hmm.
get the small because there's less calories in the large. So you kind of like I feel like I've found ways to make it like to adjust and make it work where I can eat pretty much anything and then still
Hmm.
obviously work in progress all the time. And then like sometimes I'm like, you're not staying in check of calories. So like you gain
Yeah.
10 pounds, well, like you know why. Like you're
Yeah.
not like you aren't staying in check right now. You know what I mean? So but
Sure.
it works. So I was like it works. But my eating habits have definitely changed since starting to strength train. And the biggest thing's the protein. Like I used
Yeah.
to never think about it at all. I would just eat. I would think nothing. Was eating like a bowl of cereal like every day for breakfast, and I'm like, no,
Sure.
Doesn't really have any protein. So like now I would never do that.
Yeah, it's so funny how now like one of the this is again a great example is every meal is designed around protein, right? It's like you're thinking of what that protein source is first, and then it's like most of the meal is created around it.
Yeah. I'd say so I think it's rare when I don't have protein. And I'm aware if I don't. Like, okay, like
Yeah.
you eat that, but like you're gonna be hungry later because like that had like no protein in it at
Right.
all. Which
Right. It's like funny, like I don't know about you, but like for me, it's even like when Shane and I order pizza, it's like, all right, what's the protein we're gonna have though? Like even though do we throw chicken on the protein? Do we get a side of chicken? Like what's that look like? We just got to get some sort of protein
yeah,
source
and
with
that's the
it.
way I think about it too. I'm like, what am I gonna, I can't just have a cheese pizza with no, like I need to add something to it, or if I have it, like you're gonna be hungry later. Like you know, like you didn't need any protein really with that.
Sure. Now, Jill, like during this whole journey, again with your health and fitness, this transformation, did you ever have a moment like you felt like quitting or just felt like this is hard and
I
I,
said, I mean, in the very beginning, yes, for sure. Because like I remember specifically that people would be doing like bear crawls, which I still hate to this day. But like people would do them, and I'm like, especially at the very beginning, I'm like, how are these people doing this? Like they would go like 20 yards, and I'm like, I can really do like five without like
yeah.
dying. So like, how are these people doing this? So like at the very beginning, I felt like it was like very like not discouraging, but like people could like especially in a group setting where people are like just like going, you're like, how are they doing this? And then like and like I'm lifting like a 10-pound weight, and there's somebody over
Mhm.
there lifting like 50. So I'm like, whoa, like I was like, how are they doing that? So like
Sure.
I felt like at first it was more the intimidation part that made me want to quit.
Hmm.
And then I wouldn't say I want to quit, but like the knee injury, like twice, like before I knew what was wrong with my knee, like it happened twice. Like I heard it and I was kind of set me back, and then it finally like got better, I thought, but it was before I got checked out. And then I remember I moved the meniscus in my knee doing a half kneeling landmine
Landmine.
press, and
Right.
I just
I
knew
remember
it.
that.
Like, and I was kind of annoyed because I had just felt like I had just got back to a really good spot. I was like, oh, I can like do all the lifts fine, like everything's fine. And then I was doing a landmine press with half kneeling, and I could feel the meniscus move, and I was like, ah, it's not like it's not you're not gonna be able to walk now. And so like
Yeah.
I couldn't, and it was like it got really swollen and like months of like rehab again. And that's when like I
Yeah.
did work with physical therapist and then got an MRI and found out about the ACL rupture and all that. So
Sure.
like they were, I'd say I didn't want to quit them, but I was definitely frustrated because I couldn't do all the lifts the way I wanted to.
Hmm.
But I really just liked, I basically had already fallen in love with lifting at that point. So I was like, you're gonna kind of just figure out how to do this.
Hmm.
But I'd say the beginning was probably the only time that ever was like, this is terrible. Like I can't do, like
Sure.
it's just hard. And now it's still hard, but it's not like I can't. I feel like some of the stuff, like, oh, I can do a plank. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's, I couldn't do it all.
Yeah. Was there like kind of taking it from your first point with, let's say the bear crawls, which do suck. Those are tough.
Yeah.
But like doing those, like, it sounds like this sort of comparative factor, right? Like, oh, they can do 20 yards, I can only do five, or they're pressing 50 pounds, I can only press 10. Was there anything that helped you just push through that, like a mindset or a thought process?
I think basically just knowing, especially from like having coaches there, that like this is just like the process. Like you can lift that someday, but it
Yeah.
doesn't happen like it's not going to take a week to lift that. Like I've been lifting 7 years and still finally hit 225 when I deadlift PR. So like I don't, so it's basically, I guess just understanding it's a slow process, but it's still progressive. Like you can get stronger and like you can lift it. It's just gonna take a while. Like
Yeah.
you can't walk into class day two and be like, I want to be able to like press 35, 40 pounds on my
Yeah.
dumbbell press. Like that's not gonna happen kind of thing.
Right.
And
Right.
it didn't happen. So I felt like just knowing though, and like as you start seeing some gains, even if it's small, like I feel like that was motivating enough to be like, oh, it's working. It's just gonna be slow, like they said.
Yeah, it's like taking the forever game, but like I think some people, that's a great point, Joe, because I think some people think like, oh, it's going to take 5 years to get to where I want to get. But like that's also like a big goal you have in mind. It's like you thinking it's going to take me 5 years to lose 100 pounds, but it's like, but yeah, but each year you're also going to lose 20 pounds. Like you're going to make progress. So sometimes when we're always looking at like the top of the mountain, it can be discouraging, but let's just look at the next step. Let's get to, the kettlebell deadlift to a barbell deadlift. And now let's get to 135 and then 145 and then so on and so forth. And just kind of play it one step at a time, one little goal. But it sounds like you did a really good job of just recognizing the progress you were making and just celebrating those wins along the way, right?
I would agree. I feel like as you get stronger too, like the confidence grows. Like I definitely remember like when I first met you too, like being in the gym, like I can't do that. And you used to make me make do bear crawls for every time I said I can't. So like,
Yeah,
and I was like, I used to do it all the time. And then like you slowly you're just like, no, like you can, like you just like. So I feel like as you hit different things or you do something like you couldn't do before, you're like, oh, I can do this. Like,
yeah,
and the confidence grows, which I think then correlates to like other parts of your life. Like even at work, like the people would comment being like, oh, like something's like change with you. Like you, because I used to
sure.
be really shy. I'm still shy, but like I was really shy and quiet and like wouldn't talk in meetings or anything like that. And then
Hmm.
like people would slowly start, like I would find myself being like saying things and like, I can't believe you just said that. Like I was like, oh, you just talked. Like I was like
Yeah,
noticing in my own head, but then like other people started noticing and just being like,
cool.
oh, like Jill, like something's like different with you. And like I was, and I knew like that it was the strength training. I was like, the strength training is
Yeah,
giving me more confidence overall in every aspect of my life. And it's working because like it's led to like promotions at work. And so like I feel like it's very like even though it's like investment in time and obviously money and stuff like that, I feel like it's been 100% worth it just between the health benefits of physically, but also mentally, and then the difference it makes in my life, like work wise too, like career wise, it's completely changed how I was doing at work. Not that I was ever bad, but I don't feel like I had like
sure.
a trajectory of like getting promoted and more confident and speaking in meetings. And I
Yeah,
think a lot of that is has changed because of strength training.
absolutely. You took away my next question.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Beating you
But
to
it
it.
was like the impact of this transformation. Like, how has it grown confidence in other areas of your life, right? Like, and just you were saying, being able to be someone who's maybe shy and timid in a meeting to now, like, fuck you guys, I'm going to speak my opinion here. Or, like, I know you got promoted recently. So just seeing those changes as well. Um, but I also want you to share about, I know it's not fully in action right now,
Yeah.
but I know you have this goal in mind of something you're creating.
I am trying to create so I actually did buy like the gone through GoDaddy like the website of
Hmm.
myconfidencerising.com. And so eventually it's going to be something. I don't know if it'll be a blog or I don't know exactly what it's going to be because it's pretty new. But it is
Hmm.
going to grow into something and it's based on the whole idea that like strength training more woman focused, but just in general for anybody actually
Yeah.
that strength trains that it will change your confidence. So it's kind of like as you raise the bar, like watch your confidence rise kind of thing. And like
Yeah.
basically like your confidence rises and you are better in every area of your life, not just, oh, I got muscle like definition. This is great. Like it's
Yeah.
not just a physical transformation and it's obviously great for your health, but it's good for every aspect of your life and your
Yeah.
confidence.
Yeah.
That's
I
basically
love
it's
it.
going to grow into some kind of blog. I think it's going to
Yes.
happen here. I do have the website. It's just not
Yes.
really
Well,
happened yet.
what we'll do, we still have a little time to chat here and
Yeah.
everything, but I'll make sure we'll mention the website name so people listening can go look it up. And your goal is by the time this is posted to have at least one thing up. So
It's a little hard. I go on vacation, so we'll
yeah.
see. I might be able
Well,
to get something in. I've got a long car ride ahead, so
yes, there you go. Just
I
get
don't even
something
know how
rolling.
to post it yet. So that's going to be step one.
There you go. Start
Okay.
figuring that stuff out. But no, I mean, I'm super, excited for you in that because I know, like you said, just some of this this growth you've had in your life outside of just the gym has added such a positive experience to things in your life, which is awesome to hear.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's been amazing. And then the friendships, even just like obviously meeting you and keeping our friendship going, like
Yeah.
that wouldn't happen if I didn't strength train. So like I feel like there's just things that are, and then obviously the physical transformation and things like that. Like I actually remember once it's like I think it was during COVID because we were training outside, like how I think I was doing like a wall sit at one point and like he looked at me and you're like, what are you doing? And I was like, you totally like caught me like admiring my quad muscles. And I was like, I am admiring my quad muscles. You're like,
You're like, I'm checking out these
I'm like a
sexy legs of
toddler. I was
mine.
like, it's working. Like I could see my muscles and thinking how crazy it was. But I was like, it's just cool how like even those little things were like, you're so vain. But I was like, oh, it's just kind of cool to know it like it's like working. You're like, oh, I can like see some muscle. But it took years to get to that. But you're
Yeah.
like, it's crazy. Like so I do feel like the confidence, even in that aspect, that it's working, just even a physical that you put in the work. Like it's not like it doesn't just
Right.
happen. Like you actually have to put in the work to get those like gains and notice
Hmm.
that kind of stuff. And I was like, it's kind of cool. Like you're like proud of yourself that you're like, oh, I actually am doing this. Like,
Yeah. Well, it's true. The weight doesn't lie. Like the weight is always the weight every single day, whether it's like you're showing up on a good day or a bad day. It's like the weight remains constant. Like 135 pounds is always 135 pounds. So days like when you're first starting, like some weight's going to be heavy that you maybe can't do, or there might be, you know, a time period where you can't hold a plank for a certain amount of time. But the only way to get better at it is start doing it and like challenging yourself and then recognize like, oh, I wasn't able to do this once and now I can do it. Like that's honest. That's progress right there. Like those are the facts. Like the weight's still the same, but now you have the ability to do it. And that just shows like that's the facts. Like you can do it now. Like you've gotten stronger. That's just proof in the pudding right there.
Yeah,
And
it's
that
kind of
comes
amazing.
from all the effort and work you've put in week over week, month over month on why you are making progress in your life in this area of your life. And it feels fucking really good. I think strength training can just I feel like we keep talking about this, but
Yeah.
like strength training can really be a huge difference for people in their life. Like, yes, you've gotten stronger, which obviously helped you physically change your body. Obviously, we add a nutrition component, it adds even more progress to it. And then obviously what it's doing from just your quality of life with friendships you've made, like really close friends we have now, with what it's done for your job. And it's really all comes from back from starting strength training, just getting going, getting stronger there, has really like made a huge change in a positive way in your life.
It really has. It's really amazing
Yeah.
what it's done for me. And I think I wish everyone would do it. And I know like I'm partial to it because I love it and I'm sure some people won't love it. So, but
Yeah.
I feel like even if you don't love it, like it's something like you have to do, kind of like the cardio aspect. Like you always put in Metcons and I don't like the
Yeah.
cardio, but I still do it because it's good for your heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I do it, but it's not my favorite. But like I feel like there's just certain things you, so if you don't love it, that it's just the gains from it and the positive aspects of it are so important that
Mhm.
you just have to do it and hopefully end up loving it as much as I love it. I just think there's something really awesome about challenging, like you're just kind of competing against yourself and like, oh, like how much stronger can I get? Like I couldn't lift that, but last week I can do that. It feels better and kind of just
Yeah.
feel like it also just gives you a good like read into like how you're doing even on certain days. Like I feel like some days are good, some days are bad, like your lifts are great, some days are not. And I feel like you
Hmm.
can tell from like, oh, I was so stressed out, like that lift didn't go that well this week, but I have all these other things going on. And you can kind of just tell a difference that some weeks are gonna feel better than others.
Yeah, they call that the rule of, I think it's like the rule of three. It's like 33% of your workouts are going to feel invincible. 33 are just going to be okay. Like they're fine. Like you can get through. It's not bad or good, but they're fine. Then 33% are just going to be like, ah, this feels like ass, but like we'll do what we can.
Yeah,
And it's funny. I saw this quote the other day is, it's like if you could only give 40% in that training session, like that's all you had to give, that's 100%. Because that's 100% of all you had to give was still 40%. But it's still like important to make sure you're still showing up and given that 100%, whatever that looks like, whether it's a good day, a bad day, or a medium day, like still showing up is obviously crucial for this.
I would agree. Showing up, getting it done, and not letting it.
But I like what you're saying. Sorry, there's a flying here
I was like, is
somewhere.
that? I was wondering if that's here. I'm like, it's not warm enough here yet for flies in the house. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
it's actually starting to rain here. I didn't
is
know it was
it?
gonna rain, but um, there was something you were just saying. Oh, talking about like doing Metcons and stuff. You're like, oh, I hate it. And there's certain exercises, right, that you're like, oh, this exercise kind of sucks. Like this is challenging, like split squat isos or something like
It's
that. But it's also you understanding like you're picking your heart, right? There's the heart of not working out, right? Like, but the heart comes later on, right, in life where it's like, all right, well, now you're going to battle with your quality of life, probably your health and health risks that may come up. Or you can pick your heart now and just do the split squat isos, do the metcons, do the strength training, all that stuff. And then you pick that now, and then life's going to be a little bit easier later on. So that's sort of what I was getting from what you were saying earlier about like, hey, the metcons suck. This kind of sucks, but like I still do it anyways because I know it's good for my health.
Yeah, I would agree. Like even this morning, I had like the 15 minutes of bike, and I was like, "Gosh, Cav, I hate biking." That's like, but I was like, "Fine, I'll do it." And so like, there's also a sense of like accomplishment that you're like, I did.
Yes.
Like I was, like I didn't want to do it, but I did it. Like just sometimes you just got to do things you don't want to do. So
Yeah.
like,
Well, 15 minutes on an Echo bike or one of those Airdyne bikes feels like 2 hours. So
that
I
did
can
feel
understand that.
good. Like it's terrible.
It's like a microwave minute where it's like you're just staring at the microwave. You're like, it's been 3 hours. All right. Anyways, Jilly. So I want to shift gears here a little bit. Um, So someone starting off their own fitness journey, right? You've been there, you were there 7 years ago. What is, through your experience now, what would be like one piece of advice you'd give someone to starting their own fitness journey?
I would say to make sure they go someplace that has good coaches. So the coaches matter a lot because
Mhm.
obviously, like you're still my coach. I met you when I started, and all the other coaches I worked with were great. But like having coaches that are very supportive, but also push you, I think, is part of the key. Like not just like that's one of the things I love about you is that you never like let me just like it's always fun, but it's not just easy. Like even
Hmm.
like yesterday on my presses that like the first rep didn't count, the kind of thing. Like it's not like you don't want it to be too easy. Somebody's gonna push you, but also in a safe way. Um, so I'd feel like finding a place with good coaches and then a good atmosphere. Like obviously the physical gym itself is important, but I think even more important than that is just like good people and a good
Yeah.
atmosphere and having people that you become friends. Because once you have a reason beyond just the exercise to go there, like you want to go see people like for social aspect, it helps with getting to the gym because you don't want to just go there for the workout. You want to go there for the people as well. And I think also just knowing that it's like a slow process that you're not going to just start training in a month, be like, wow, look at how strong I am. Like it's taken 7 years. Like I've been lifting for 7 years and it's still like I'm still hitting like PRs and like working towards different things. And like I didn't even back squat for a long time. I think we started that like 2 years ago. I only did kettlebell front squats. And so like just that it takes a long time
Yeah.
to get there. So you have to have patience with it, but the whole process is very rewarding and you start seeing gains almost right away. It was not like it took 7 years to start like loving it. I loved it right from the start and I saw transformation right from the start and like I lost 30 pounds just lifting basically from strength
Mhm.
training and that happened over the first year or two. So like there's benefits you're going to see immediately. You're just not
Mhm.
going to be able to lift the strong heavy weights immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna be able to develop strength, progress over time. Yeah, you might not set these. I guess they could be PRs if there's someone very new where it's like they've
Sure,
never
everything's a PR.
lifted.
You're like a good PR.
Yes,
Yeah, this is
everything's a
great.
PR. Um, but like yeah, it's one of those things like focus on your journey. I like what you said, like focus, play the long game with it, but focus on your journey. I think a lot of times we get, even like you were mentioning early on, getting caught up in like comparison. But just understand like everyone has a start, has a day one, right? Like Tom Brady had a day one when he threw a football and he was probably terrible, right? Like he just did. Like everyone has their day one. Is obviously he was probably in like middle school or high school or however old he was, but just one of those things. He stunk and then he just kept practicing and getting better and making these little progressions over time. And now he's the not only the greatest quarterback of all time, but the greatest human of all time. Friggin' love Tom.
I know you do.
Um, but yeah, just give you that idea. But I love that. Like play the long game, kind of celebrate those little wins along the way. Um, I think can definitely make a huge difference. Do you think there's anything most people get wrong about either fat loss or strength training or anything there?
I feel like strength training. I feel like most women still, I think, think like, oh, it'll get me like bulky or like, and that's obviously not true.
Yeah.
It takes forever to gain
Hmm.
muscle. And then I think even just like the barbell, like women, I don't think are ever used to like using a barbell. Like I never had my entire life, and I never thought I would like
Hmm.
until like I was like, oh, like after like I started off doing deadlifts with kettlebells, and that. Then we moved to a barbell, and I was like, oh, I can't use a barbell. Like, it just really like getting past some of the things that you thought like you couldn't do, and having an open mind about it is key. And on the nutrition side, just the protein, like at least starting to be more aware of what you eat, which
Hmm.
some people I think are and some people aren't. And I think there's still a lot of women who just, or people in general who just like, will just be like, oh, you have to like, I can only eat salads. Like I can't eat anything else. And like they don't have a good read on like that. It's a slow process, but you also can just look at protein and fiber and look at your
Sure.
calories overall and kind of get it in check. And that will help tremendously.
Yeah, it's like simplify it. Like try
Yeah.
not overthink it. Like give yourself permission to eat what you want. Just make sure you get some protein and some fiber in, and make sure you just in general manage your calories. Um, and you should
And I
be
think just the
okay.
awareness is good. Like even on the
Yeah.
calorie side, like if I gain like 10 miles, which I think I did over the winter, basically, or like,
Hmm.
I know why though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
get it. Like, you're not in calorie check. Like, you did this last weekend, you did that, you had ice
Yeah.
cream, like, Kimball's opened like 2 weeks ago, and you've been there 3 times. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so there's like, you kind of know why. Like, you're like, oh, at least it makes sense. Like, you need to rein it back in if you want to lose the weight.
Yeah. It helps create awareness and data
Yeah.
for yourself, but like you're also being honest with yourself too. You're like, yeah, I've been a little bit more flexible over the
Yeah.
holidays,
Yeah.
and that's okay too. Like gain some weight over the holidays, like that's totally fine. Um, but it just it helps create that sort of awareness. And obviously, when you're being honest, it's not like you'd be like, "Oh, what happened?" It's you know what happened. Now we have the ability to get back with it now. So just kind of getting back on track. I think that's like what's coming to mind here is something that's pretty misunderstood is maintenance is really like a weight range. Like when you maintain progress, it's not like you just hit one number and you have to stay at that exact number for the rest of your life. No, it's probably like a 5 poundish plus or minus a little bit more or less. 5 poundish plus or minus range. Like I always say for me particular, like I try to be like 190 to 200. Like that's my maintenance. If I'm somewhere in between there, I'm pretty happy in life. Now, obviously, if I get above 200, I'm like, all right, that's a little much. I'm being a little bit too more flexible. Let me dial back in. But like you said, it's like, let me just get back to this tool because that's what it is. Like, let me track my calories or pay attention here, be a little bit more mindful here. I've been a little bit mindless. And you just kind of rein it back in. But I really want people to sort of understand is maintenance is a range. It's not one particular number. You just try to stay around this range because the reality is life is going to happen. Like you're going on a vacation next week, probably going to be a little bit more flexible as you should, and then you just get back on track and just make sure you keep it back in that range. The holidays are going to happen, summertime's going to happen, kids' schedule is going to be busy. But like, yes, there's things we want to do to at least make sure we can either make progress or manage things during that time, rather than saying screw it and being all out on it. But I love how you mentioned just being honest and coming back to like dialing things back in when needed.
Yeah. And I think it's also just the awareness. Like I remember, not that I like measure everything, but when you track calories, you do. And like I feel like learning serving sizes was very
Yeah,
eye-opening, especially with something like peanut butter. I love peanut butter. And like learning
it's
like that's
always the
the
peanut butter.
serving. There's always the peanut butter. I was like, that's terrible. You got like a little spoonful and it's like of the
Hmm.
serving calories. So like I feel like just being aware, it gives you awareness when you start to like really pay attention to
Yeah.
it. Like knowing what a serving size is of something and wondering like, oh, like I haven't lost any weight, but like yeah, it's because you had like 7 servings. You know what I mean? Like you didn't have like one or two.
Yeah,
So like
you're
you kind of
10x
like
the
yeah.
servants you should be having.
Yeah, you're like you
Um,
kind of bring it in like you it just the awareness of it has been good.
yeah, it helps educate you, right? It helps educate you on what an actual portion
Yeah.
size is. But I think what's so great with that too is like you get the visual of it too. So it's like you're using a food scale and you're like, all right, 100 grams of rice, cooked rice. You throw it on there, you're like, oh, that's what it looks like. I had like 3 times that, and that's what I was tracking as 100 grams of rice, right? Same thing with peanut butter. Like, oh, that's a tablespoon. I think I was having 7 tablespoons before, and I thought that was a tablespoon, right?
Yep. And you're like, oh, like that's not bad. Like I can have as much peanut butter I want. It's like 190 calories. Like, oh, that's not you're not adding it up right. So I feel like once you start doing that, like you don't have to measure all the time, but you just like know in your head after a while, be like, that's not a serving of peanut butter. Like you're having like 3 servings of peanut butter. So if you're
Right.
gaining some weight, like you know why. Like you know what I mean? So I feel like just that kind of awareness has been good.
Hmm.
In general.
For sure. For sure. I love that. All right. My last two sort of questions here,
Okay.
Jilly, just to kind of close things out is you've talked about a lot today, so I think this question may have already been answered, but just to sort of kind of put a final tally on it is like, how has this whole experience of, again, you just kind of taking care of your health and fitness changed your perspective on what's possible for you?
I think just I guess I would say it was possible that basically like learning you can grow and keep growing and learning and getting stronger, that it's not something like because I wish I had started strength training like in my 20s. Like I wish I
Hmm.
had known about it, but people just, especially women, just didn't do that. Like you basically like did the elliptical. So I
Hmm.
feel like knowing you can start whenever and see positive gains. Like it's been 7 years and it's completely changed my life. And just the friendships and the people aspect of it, and then what it does for your confidence is huge. And it just completely, it just changes your whole life. And then the friendships and the coaches, like obviously the friendship I have with you now. And I think about all the different places we've trained over the years, and it's just crazy to me from like a gym setting to outside during COVID and doing like deadlifts in a parking lot to
Yeah.
garage gyms to back of a hardware store, like just places, and then like
Yeah.
now in Zoom, like or FaceTime. It's just kind of crazy the relationships you can build through something like this. And I like that it's not attached to like a work thing, so it's like it's not just like work friends. It's like outside of all of that, and it's a whole different community of people. But you're focusing on something that's really good for you.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answered your
Absolutely.
question.
No, absolutely. That's a great
I
answer.
was like, okay,
Um, well, it's funny because obviously we've been on Zoom.
yeah.
I mean, like FaceTime training for the last 3 years now. Actually, like 2.5 years. We
I
just
can't
talked
believe
about
it's
this.
been that long. It's
And it's
crazy.
just crazy
Yeah.
because I mean, again, we were training together in person for like 5 years. Um, but it's just funny because I remember one thing we always joke about is obviously when I'm training you in person, like I'm changing the weights, I'm getting all the weights, I'm trying to like get everything set up for you. But obviously now that I'm here, you kind of have to do that.
It's
And
so true. That actually, yeah, go on, sorry.
no, you're good. And I just laugh about like one day when we're back in person again, it's just gonna be funny where it's just like now I got to do it again,
Now you
or
gotta do
do
it
I
again. It's
make
gonna be
it?
back to you. It actually came up this morning because I was bench pressing this morning, and
Mhm.
the coach at the gym, she was like, "Oh, like, because I used to just keep adding weights. I never would use the 25-pound plates for the bench press,
Yeah.
but I was like, okay, I'll take off the 10s, add the 25s." And she was like, "Wow, you're like changing the weights," and I was like, "Yeah, I was just joking with Kevin, my coach, about how." Like, this is the worst part of not training in
Yeah.
person is changing the weights myself. And I was like, once he's back, or like even he's here to visit, like it's his job. I was like,
Yes.
I'm changing the
Yes.
weights. I just won't lift.
Uh, it's so funny because I think when we first started, I was like, now you know how it feels. We got to
Like, this is
change all the weights all the
terrible.
time.
Like, this is the worst part, changing all the weights around.
It takes a little bit of work, but no, I love it. So do you have any goals moving forward? Like any goals you have in mind? I know we just did crush a bunch of PRs this week, so you might have accomplished some goals that you might have to think about, but was there anything in mind you had as far as fitness goals?
I mean, overall, just I think my main goal is just to keep to make sure I stay consistent and keep
Yeah.
strength training because I love it. Keep that love. Try to stay healthy, especially my knees. Like make
Hmm.
sure I keep those in check. In terms of like actual like gym goals, like I mean, the deadlift would have been the 225, which we
Yeah.
got to. So like that will, I mean, I want to keep progressively getting stronger. I think
Hmm.
the one big thing that I would like to do someday is a pull up, a body weight pull
Yeah.
up. Like I haven't done that yet. So like that would be nice.
Cool.
That's probably one of my goals, I guess, to get to. But just progressing on getting stronger, and keeping the love of it is probably one of my
Yeah.
biggest goals.
Yeah, I love that. Just in general, like continuing to just keep getting stronger, no matter what. But yeah, pull ups are freaking, as you
Those
know,
are
like
hard.
it's
Yeah,
a
they're
hard,
terrible.
hard.
That's a hard one.
I
And
think
I was
that's
like,
one of the
but
hardest.
someday.
Yeah, I think that's one of the hardest ones for people to do finally get, right? Like to get their first body weight pull up. So we can add that on the priority list for sure and see if we can get
So
something there.
that's probably like the one big, I'm like, oh, I haven't done that. So like that would be
Yeah,
nice. And then just progressing on my list still and like keep working at it.
yeah, I
Yeah,
love it. I
it's
love
one
it.
big.
Well, it's funny, Jill, when I forget what part of the podcast this was. It was probably like 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. For me personally, you know, reflecting on really how far you've come, it was kind of like a moment I had that I could feel myself get pretty emotional for you on like how much you've actually grown. Um, and it's like the first time I was ever like, wow, like talking to her and really seeing where she started at to holy shit, she's such a badass now. Like you are so strong, so impressive, seeing how much you've grown. It like truly, I was like getting very touched up. And I
Thank
just
you.
want to say how fucking proud I am of you. I do not say this enough to you, but I am so
Thank you.
fucking proud how far you've come and how much you've grown. And I'm so grateful that we get to continue to work together, but like just to keep such a good friendship. So I just wanted to share that with you, how much I care about you, how much I'm proud of you, and how much I love you, because you do mean a
Oh,
lot to me. And I'm so thankful for
okay.
you.
Thank you. I actually feel exactly the same way about you. Like I can't imagine going on this strength train journey with somebody else. Like I'm so thankful that like the world had me meet you 7 years
Yeah.
ago, and like this annoying Kevin was like, who knew that your emails
This
like
douche Kevin at first.
that douche Kevin would become such an important part of my life.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember when you said you moved to California, I'm like, okay, but like that's fine, but like you're still gonna have to be my coach, so figure that out. You're gonna
Sure,
have,
I guess you can live your life,
I
but you're
guess
fucking
you
still
can
coaching
live your
me.
life and move, but
I
somehow
love
you're
it.
gonna still be my coach. I don't know how you're gonna do that. So like
I
I feel it's just worked out so well.
mhm,
Um, and I feel like just the adversity changed, like even just training through like COVID and how like that was a tough time for me because like I feel like I just got in. I started in 2018 and then
mhm,
really got into loving strength training, and then like COVID happened and the gyms were closed and I was like, what am I gonna do? And like I
mhm,
feel like having you as a coach through all that really kept my love of it, and I kept going,
mhm,
and then it's just transformed over the years, and I'm so thankful to you. I love training with you. I love how strong you've made me,
mhm.
how fun you make it, but still challenging.
Yeah.
It's good. I really thankful for your friendship and
Yeah. Well,
basically everything you've done for me.
no, I appreciate it. And there's bonus factors to this too, is that we always get to talk about Harry Potter or
Yeah, the
sports, like all
trivia. I
that
got the
stuff.
Red Sox trivia for Kev every week. I've got the Harry Potter trivia for me. So
Yes.
we ask each other trivia questions between sets.
Yeah, we got to have some fun with it,
Yeah,
but I
it's
love how
fun.
we're both Harry Potter nerds.
We are.
Um,
I love
but
it.
Jill,
Very fun.
if anyone wants to reach out to you or find you, what's the best way to contact you? If you want to share like Instagram or wherever works
Probably
best for you.
Instagram, I'd say. So my it's JBean77 on there. Stands
Okay.
for Jilly Beans, which I actually
Jilly
remember the time.
Beans.
I remember specifically the time I was doing a pull-up. You were helping me at the time, and you were like, "What is the J Beans? Like, what does that even mean?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "It's for Jilly Beans." And I was like, "My brother." That's like family always called me that. My brother's calls
Yeah.
me Beans now, but then you start ever since then. You're like, "I'm gonna call you Jilly Beans," and you did. Like, I remember it specifically. I was doing pull-up. You're like, "That's your new nickname." I'm like, okay,
I
and so you
love that.
called
I
me ever
think
since.
that's so creative, Jilly Beans. I literally like in the program, our program, I always write Jilly Beans like face 18 or whatever it is. I think that's so creative. But I love the name Jilly Beans.
Thank you. Like
It's
the
very
J.
cool. Kudos to your brother for creating it
Yeah,
and
he just
let a
calls me
lot.
Beans now, so it's kind of funny. So I got all these different names, like a Jelly Beans,
I
Beans.
love. Do you like jelly beans?
I hate jelly beans. Like I like really hate them. Like
That's
I actually,
funny.
it's kind of funny that my nickname's jelly beans. I hate jelly beans. I remember like every year they'd get put in my Easter basket, and I'm like, I hate jelly beans. Like it's like, yeah. So it's kind of funny because it is my nickname, jelly beans, but I
That's so
despise
funny.
jelly beans.
So the Instagram was jbeans what?
J Beans 77.
jbeans77. I love it. Very cool. Well,
So
Jill.
thanks, Kev. I love you too, by the way. I never said that in the part where I said thank
Oh,
you,
I love you
but
so
you're the
much,
best.
Jilly.
Me too.
Well, thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you. Thanks for
I know.
having me.
Yeah, of course. You were one of the top priorities I wanted to have on here just because how long we've
Thanks.
known each other. And obviously, I know how much you've grown and everything. So I really appreciate you being on here.
Thanks, Kev. It was fun talking to you.
Awesome.
I'm excited
Well,
to see you soon.
yes, couple
Couple
weeks.
weeks.
But
Yeah.
for everyone else, appreciate you tuning in. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me or Jill if you have any questions, want any feedback, or need anything whatsoever. But as always, we appreciate you. I believe in you. Go eat the damn donut, would you? And we'll talk soon. Cheers.
Awesome. Thanks, Kev.